Good morning, everyone. So, we have started with chapter number 14, Atmosphere, and this is your third video. In this video, we are going to understand other factors which affect weather and climate. So, today we are doing humidity. Okay, humidity. Now, what is humidity? Humidity is nothing but the presence of water vapor into the atmosphere, that is humidity. And what is the relation between temperature and humidity? When the temperature is rising, then the humidity will also rise. Why? Because when the temperature is rising, then what will happen? Evaporation process will happen. The water will convert into water vapor and it will give increase to the humidity also. If we talk about the relationship between humidity and the pressure, which we have already talked about, but again I'm clearing over here that humidity, when the humidity is increasing in the atmosphere, then the pressure will decrease. Why? Because temperature is increasing. Because the temperature is increasing, so humidity is increasing, and that is why it is creating a low pressure. So this is what we have done. Now there are certain points which are given here, that the humidity varies from place to place. Yes, of course, because the place which is near to the equator, because they are receiving more of sun rays, that is why they will have more of moisture into the air. But if we talk about the regions which are very far away from the sun rays, like the polar areas, they will have less of water vapor in the atmosphere, because they simply do not receive sun's rays. And the one means instrument which helps in measuring the humidity is hygrometer. The moisture is actually moving into a cyclic manner, which we know about like hydrological cycle, or we also call as water cycle. And it has series of steps, that is evaporation, condensation and precipitation. So we are going to understand that one by one. Evaporation is the first thing. We all know that what is evaporation? Evaporation is simply a process in which the state of liquid is changing. The liquid converts into water vapor. Another important thing is transpiration. That evaporation, or the process in which the water is evaporated from the leaves and branches of the plant, that is called as transpiration. Okay. After the water has been converted into water vapor, after evaporation, condensation happens. Means when the air is saturated. By the word saturated, would we mean that it has been fully filled with the moisture. Then what happened? Then it will turn into crystals or tiny droplets of water. Okay. And it occurs in different forms, which has been given here. That is dew, frost, fog, mist or clouds. Clouds is the most common feature. We all know that how clouds are formed. That is usually what happens. Then second thing is frost. Now frosting happens only at those places where the temperature is always below freezing. Okay. Mean those region, like in India we have like the areas which are near to the Himalayas and all. Here whenever the process happens, then it always convert into frosting. So it happens when the temperature is below freezing point. Okay. Now what is fog and mist? Fog and mist is nothing but when there is no clarity. Okay. When you are not able to see, or visibility is not there, when you are standing over somewhere and you are not able to see what is happening in front of you, that is called as fog and mist. The only difference between fog and mist is that fog is more denser in comparison to the mist. Okay. So that is one reason. Fog also happens, as we have read in the chapter hydrosphere, when the warm and cold current mixes. Then at that place you will find fog. Okay. And the visibility is very less in fog and a little better in the mist. Then we have dew. Dew happens generally into the winter season, when in winter days, when we are having little bit of sunlight all through the day, and in the night time the temperature drastically changes. Then what happen is that in the morning you will see the droplets of water all over on the plants and leaves and branches and everything. That is called as dew. So all these are the forms of condensation. Now then we have the last thing, that is precipitation. Means after the formation of clouds, then what happen when the cloud is filled with water, then it will fall down on the earth, okay, in the form of droplets. Okay, sometimes there are other forms also, that there is rain, and then sometimes there is snow, hail or sleet. Snow is, that frosting or snowflakes. Hail is, when you have, the stones of snow, very hard stone, freezing stones. Then sleet is actually a combination of snowing and water droplet, so that is called as sleet. So all these are the forms of precipitation, but here in books we are going to understand the types of precipitation. So there are three types of precipitation, which is given on the next page. Three types of precipitation. The first is relief precipitation. By the word relief, we mean physical feature. Okay. We can understand this thing in figure 14.6. There is a sea over here, and because it is the air, and it is actually, due to the receiving of the sun rays, it is converting into water to water vapor. Evaporation process is happening. When the evaporation process will happen, then it will start to ascend, and because due to the this hill which is coming into path, then what will happen, then it will move towards the hill area, and here clouds will form and rain will start to fall down. But what will happen on the other side of the hill is that when it will reach its peaks and then it will start to descend, then what will happen is that it will lost all its moisture. And in this area, this will be the rain shadow area, and this area will receive very less of rain, or maybe no rain. Okay, so this kind of precipitation is called as relief precipitation, in which there is one area which is receiving very heavy rainfall, and other half is receiving nothing or very less of rainfall. So this is called as rain shadow area, and this is called as windward slope. So this is called as relief precipitation. Second is convectional precipitation. Convectional precipitation generally happens into the equatorial region. In the equatorial region, you can see the change in pressure condition. What happen is that you can see in this diagram 14.7, that this is land area and it is heated up. Now what will happen is, because the land is heated, the air will also become hot. It will expand and it will move towards the atmosphere, and low pressure will be over here. Then the winds from the high pressure will move towards here, and what will happen, it will bring rainfall over here, and it will start to rain. So you will find a lot of rain over there all throughout the day. The evaporation process will happen, and at late afternoon heavy clouds, black clouds will be formed, and heavy rainfall with the thunderstorms will happen. And this is the process of convectional precipitation, which generally occurs near the equatorial regions. Okay. Cyclonic precipitation is totally different because it happens in temperate low pressure belt. Okay, in the temperate zones, because convectional and relief precipitation is kind of precipitation which happens into the torrid zone, but the cyclonic precipitation is totally different. It happens into the temperate low pressure belts. When what happens is that the warm air will expand, it will become lighter, and it will rise over into the atmosphere, and it will develop over the cold winds, and then the clouds will form and heavy rainfall will happen, and that is called as cyclonic precipitation. Sometimes it also converts precipitation into cyclones, and that is why it is called as a cyclonic precipitation. So by this we have completed this chapter. Thank you so much.